Hello, this is Chef John from foodwishes.com with Tres Leches cake. That is a cake that's soaked with a sweet milk syrup. This is my mom, Pauline's version. I'm back in New York, so we filmed this delicious dessert, which usually she would do a homemade cake for. But time and humidity dictated us using a box mix. So what she does here, she took some shortening on a piece of wax paper and greased the baking pan. We're going to take one box of cake mix, yellow cake mix. You can use white, but we decided we like the yellow best. 3 whole eggs, a cup of cold water, a quarter cup of vegetable oil, and a teaspoon of real vanilla. And then she's going to beat that with the electric mixer until very smooth. So a couple tricks here. You'll notice halfway through she turns off the mixer, takes the spatula, scrapes down the sides. Otherwise, you're going to get dry chunks that kind of stick to the sides of the bowl there, and they won't incorporate. So 2 or 3 times while you're mixing this, scrape down the sides, and she kept mixing that until you see there, completely smooth. Now here's another nice trick. When you're done beating, don't just pull the beaters out of the mix. See how she raises them slowly with it still on, and the batter will fly off those beaters, and you don't have as much to scrape off. All right, she scraped that into our baking sheet. Now we are using a 15 by 10 inch baking pan here. This recipe will work beautifully in 13 by 9, which is what most of you probably will have. So the only difference is this will come out a little thinner. The 13 by 9 obviously will be a little taller, but same recipe, so feel free to use a 13 by 9 inch baking dish or baking pan. All right, so smooth that out, and then what you want to do is you want to give it a little shake and a couple taps on the surface, and that's going to bring any air bubbles up to the top and make sure it's completely even. She put that in a 350-degree oven. Now because she used a wider pan than usual, this only took about 22-23 minutes. If you use a 13 by 9 pan, you're probably looking at 25 to 30 minutes. You know the test. When a toothpick inserted in the middle comes out clean, it's done. All right, now you're going to let your cake cool for at least a half hour. She took a bamboo skewer and poked it all over, and that poking is going to help that syrup get into the cake. All right, now Tres Leches comes from the fact that we're going to use 3 different kinds of milks to soak this cake with. There's 2 of them, evaporated milk and condensed milk, and we're also going to use some half and half. All right, we're going to mix our 3 milks together. We have a can of condensed milk, a can of evaporated milk, and a cup of half and half. Now she mixed that up. Now she has this really interesting bowl set. When the bowl senses the liquid is up to the top and it's too much liquid to be mixed, the bowl expands and gets slightly larger. You can see here how it kind of grew a little bit, and then you're able to mix it. If you can find those are a really nice product. And then the rest is easy. You're going to take your milk syrup, your Tres Leches. So you're learning a recipe and 2 words in Spanish. So the 3 milks, the 3 milk syrup gets poured over ladle by ladle. All right, dump it all on top, and you're going to think, hey, there's no way this is going to soak in. But you'll see. This was only a couple minutes time lapse, and you'll be amazed at how fast that milk syrup kind of soaks into that cake. So once it's soaked into, well, where you just can't see any obvious giant puddles of milk, go ahead and wrap it, throw it in the fridge for at least 3 to 4 hours. Overnight is fine. Most recipes tell you overnight. To serve for garnish, we're actually going to do a 4th kind of milk here if you want to be technical. I'm going to whip some heavy whipping cream, a little bit of sugar, a little bit of vanilla, and that tops our Tres Leches cake. And if you want to get really fancy, you can spoon over some strawberries. So we had just a little bit of diced strawberry and a simple syrup, and that gets put over the top. This is such a nice, interesting dessert. Really moist, really delicious, very addictive. Everyone loves it. And if you use the box mix, you can't really get a simpler dessert than this. And if you have a good yellow cake, white cake recipe, make it from scratch. Anyway, that's Pauline's Tres Leches cake. I hope you give that a try. All the ingredients are on the site. And as always, enjoy.